Superheroes are just like us, meaning they have emotions, they fall in love, and sometimes they become so infatuated with one another that they have to rub dirties. Ah yes, the complicated romantic lives of superheroes. It's like a soap opera, but with violence and cosmic threats. Yay! Jokes aside, some superheroes have gotten more action in the romance department over the years than others have. So today we are taking a closer look at their love lives with our list of the top 10 superheroes who hook up the most. Yay, vapidness. Also note that we will not be discussing any times that the heroes on our list have been sexually assaulted, because that would be rather f***ed up of us. Consent is important. And sexy. So with that in mind, let's get to our list. And at number 10, Deadpool. He might have a face that only a mother could love, but his personality speaks volumes. Or maybe it's his gusto in bed. Dude has a reputation. Deadpool, aka Wade Wilson, is a sexually fluid fellow. In 2013, he was confirmed as being pansexual, with one of his co-creators stating that he is whatever sexual inclination his brain tells him he is in that moment, and that he is the epitome of inclusive. Now that being said, one's sexuality has nothing to do with how promiscuous they are or how sexually active they choose to be. Deadpool just so happens to be a pretty sexually active guy though. He's had a lot of love interests and hookups over the years, and he is not only hooked up with humans, but he is hooked up with demons too. No joke. His romances include Vanessa Carlyle, aka Copycat, the demon Shikla, and Death, aka the entity Death, Lady Death, Mistress Death, Thanos' Death. Yeah, her. And many, many more too. Moving on to number 9, the Hulk. Hulk smash. Sorry, I had to. The Hulk has quite the colorful history when it comes to his past romances. While the 616 version of the Hulk is relatively tame in the romance department, his alternate versions are incredibly promiscuous. And pretty nasty about it too. The Old Man Logan version had sex with She-Hulk, which led to a whole family of inbreds. He would claim, I quote, "But who else was I going to mate with besides my first cousin? Jenny She-Hulk was the only woman out there who could take the damn pace." Ugh, nasty. The Ultimate Universe 1610 Hulk is also a total horn dog. For starters, he lacks all morals and tries to rape Betty Ross, and he is also a cannibal. Plus he hooked up with a harem of women in Tibet, so the big mean fella does get around. But what about in the 616? Well, Hulk once had sex with Dormammu's sister, Umar, which proved to be too much for the mighty green monster to handle. Their hookup lasted a measly 6 minutes before she exhausted Hulk, and he was so tired that he even reverted back to his Bruce Banner form. I mean, she is a demon, so maybe cut him some slack on that one, guys. Moving on to number 8, Harley Quinn. For a very long time, Harley Quinn was the Joker's girl, but then she realized how toxic of a relationship she was in and left him, although he on numerous occasions had technically left her by being dismissively homicidal with her, so. During that period, Harley ended up dating around somewhat, which culminated in the series Harley's Little Black Book. From Miss and Kisses to other realms of hot and heavy, the series outlines a bunch of quirky adventures that Harley finds herself on with other characters in the DC universe. This includes an obsession with Wonder Woman, a kiss with Green Lantern, and also rubbing dirties with Lobo. She also hooked up with Nightwing in the Batman and Harley Quinn animated film, and that was a doozy for sure. These days though, her heart belongs to Poison Ivy, despite the two of them having a bit of an on and off again relationship. Up next, number 7, Spider-Man. When we think of Spider-Man's love interest, we immediately think of Mary Jane Watson and Gwen Stacy, but those are not the only women that Peter has been romantically linked with over the years. Being the charming, intelligent, funny, and kind-hearted hero he has attracted the interest of many gals, including the likes of Black Cat Felicia Hardy and Carol Danvers, plus a lot of regular non-powered individuals. Perhaps one of his most promiscuous turns was when he was at the mercy of his own pheromones and kept hooking up with Cindy Moon, aka Silk, who, because of being bitten by the same radioactive spider as him, shared similar pheromones with him, and the two ceaselessly want to jump each other's bones. Or webs, rather. It was so bad and so uncontrollable that they had to stop working together. They couldn't even be friends despite both of them really wanting to. Now that being said, Spidey's sex life with Mary Jane Watson has included a whole lot of cheeky bedroom antics over the years. He's never been afraid of getting creative to spice things up, leaving us with a whole lot of flirty fun panels that imply that Peter and MJ get some action off panel. Moving on to number 6, Batman. Bruce Wayne has been around. It may seem that the Caped Crusader is rather prude thanks to his strong moral code, but apparently the Dark Knight has no issue with getting loose around the ladies, so to speak. Aside from his most iconic romance with Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, Batman has had his fair share of relationships and hookups. There's Talia al Ghul, whom he had his son Damian Wayne with. There's Poison Ivy, who seduced him a lot. Nocturna, Gillian Maxwell, Penumbra, Queen Bee, and a bunch of other ladies who aren't heroes or villains. He's a billionaire stud as Bruce Wayne, that's for sure. And hey, he's gotta hook up in order to maintain that playboy persona of his and keep his true identity a secret, right? Yeah, that's why he does it, totally. And at number 5, Constantine. John Constantine is yet another character on our list who is sexually fluid. And yes, while he is bisexual, the fluidity that we're talking about is not his sexuality. It's the fact that he is into both humans and demons. And technically, after having a blood transfusion, he is half demon himself. Anyway, Constantine has had quite the love life. Aside from getting busy with a handful of demons over the years, he has hooked up with Zatanna, Huntress, Nicholas Nolan, Nightmare Nurse, and a very ripped fellow named Oliver who he dated while in New York City. What a hunk. And at number 4, She-Hulk. She-Hulk often gets a bad rep for having hooked up with several individuals over the years, even to the point where she brought up the obvious double standard that she's constantly faced with when she was in bed with Tony Stark. Jennifer Walters has had several lovers over the years, some of which she pursued thanks to her desires as She-Hulk over her desires as Jen Walters, something that she observes in She-Hulk issue 18 after hooking up with Clay Quartermain. Other romances include John Jonah Jameson Jr., who she would marry, although find out afterwards that Eros had manipulated a lot of that relationship, Hercules, and of course the highly contested Juggernaut hookup. That's a hookup right there for you. And at number 3, Nightwing. Nightwing is often considered to be one of the hottest superheroes out there. Girls and guys go gaga over him. And over that booty of his. Even now that he's running with that whole Rick Grayson thing, he's still pretty darn hot. So if fans are this obsessed with him, imagine the reception that he gets in the DC universe. Running around, being objectified by every fangirl and fanboy out there. And also by other heroes and villains too. Dick Grayson has the uncanny ability of dating someone in the DC universe and managing to still be friends with them after they break up. While some argue that Batgirl Barbara Gordon is his one true pairing, others are big shippers of him and Starfire. Regardless, he has dipped his toes in many characters' honeypots over the years, which includes, but is not limited to, Zatanna, Harley Quinn, Huntress, Sonya Branch, Agent 8, Catwoman, wow, Alfred's niece Daphne Pennyworth, Raven, and of course, Batgirl and Starfire, the latter two being the most iconic of his relationships. Moving on to number 2, Wolverine. Logan may be forever in love with Jean Grey, but that does not mean that he is celibate. Anything but. Perhaps his typically unrequited love is exactly what keeps him busy with being busy. His alternate versions have also kept themselves rather busy too, hooking up with a variety of heroines across the Marvel Universe, and in one case, Hercules in the Extreme X-Men series, where the two of them shared a kiss in issue 10 and everyone went crazy about it. But fret not, Logan has quite the list of romances in his 616 past. They include Carol Danvers, Storm, Dazzler, Black Cat, Domino, Squirrel Girl, and Mystique, to name a handful. And in those alternate universes, in case you were wondering, Elektra in the MC2, Red Sonja in What If issue 16, and Sue Storm in Exiles issue 91. Plus, of course, there is also his one true dream girl, Jean Grey, in multiple different universes, but most prominently in the Age of Apocalypse timeline. And last but not least, in at number 1, Tony Stark. When one describes Tony Stark outside of his superhero persona of Iron Man, one of the adjectives that may come up is promiscuous, combined with the noun playboy. And that definitely wouldn't be incorrect. He is a bit of a horn dog. So, who has seen what's under that iron suit? Well, there is Pepper Potts, of course, but he also once dated Black Widow Natasha Romanova for a hot second before finding out that she was a spy. But the two in the Ultimate Universe got way more hot and heavy than that. There was even a sex tape. Speaking of the Ultimate Universe, he had a pretty frisky sex scene with Justine Hammer, who he would later indirectly kill. Back to the 616 now. Tony has had a relationship with Janet Van Dyne multiple times. He slept with Maria Hill in the Invincible Iron Man Volume 5 issue 10 when they thought the end of the world was near, and during Civil War when Tony was recruiting, it was implied that him and Emma Frost had some sort of romantic history. And of course there are plenty of other normal non-superpowered women out there who have knocked boots with Tony in the past. Like, a lot. From socialites to doctors to women who have been used to manipulate him and his business, Stark is quite the laundry list. And he does not discriminate. Alright, there we have it, friends. Who else do you think is quite getting busy in the comic book world? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts and feels. If you dug this video, spread that love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd if you haven't already. We'd love it if you stuck around with us some more. In the meantime, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video. I don't have any crumbs on me, do I? No. Okay, good. Don't go judging the Hulk. He couldn't help it. The script says Jessica Drew, but that didn't happen. I don't know why I wrote that. Perhaps one of his most promiscuous. The demons are scary, so we're not gonna talk about them. Lots of scary nipples. John Jonah Jameson, mildly retconned. Girls and guys go gaga over him. And over that booty of his. Kill me. Zatanna, Rhea Vestri, Vestri, we're just not gonna say her name.